Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to us here at Earth and Sky Metaphysical Center. We are based right here in Flint, Michigan. I appreciate all of you who watch all around the world, and we really love your feedback when you give us feedback either on our Facebook page or on the YouTube channel. We love hearing from you. We love hearing suggestions too. If you have different services that you're interested in having us talk about, then please feel free to give us that feedback. And any other feedback you have, we as always do appreciate that. Please remember to go over to our Earth and Sky page if you haven't already on Facebook and click the like button. And if you haven't already on YouTube, which you already should have, hopefully, if this is your second video or more, I'm really hoping you will go click that subscribe button right down below. If you want to get the notifications, then click the bell to get all of the notifications, and you'll actually hear about our services a little bit before everybody else if you hit that bell button on YouTube. And today we are talking all about birthdays. So birthdays bring up a lot of different meaning for people. Some people don't like to celebrate birthdays. Some people don't like to talk about birthdays. Some people love to celebrate birthdays and want everybody to know it's their birthday. And then there's this big range of people in between. So what do birthdays mean to you? As we get older, sometimes they take on different meanings too. So what do birthdays mean? Is there anything special you tend to do for yourself at your birthday? And why are birthdays important? Sometimes I've heard some people say they don't understand why we have such big meaning on birthdays. I tend to personally like most holidays and birthdays, and I think that they're very important. And some of the reasons specifically that birthdays are important is it's a time to celebrate you. It's celebrating that you were born here in this body on this planet at this time, and it's your lap around the sun. So you're coming back to that same spot that the sun was when you were first born. And so it's a time to cherish and acknowledge how far you've come, what you've done with your life so far, where you're going, and who you are as a person. And it's not something to judge either. So some people will get caught up as a birthday comes around and they think, well, I don't feel like I've accomplished what I should, or I'm not where I should be, or they have all of these different judgments that come up. So I'd ask that you set all of those aside. And some people, as their birthdays come up, they start thinking about how their looks are feeling, or how they're not the way they were when they were 20. And even if they're 30, I've seen some people that are 30 saying, oh my gosh, I'm no longer in my 20s. Panic sets in. Well, I'd like you to set all of those judgments aside too, because your birthday is really a special day. It's the day that you were born, and you are here for a special purpose in this life. And whether you recognize what that purpose is yet or not, you're here for a very special purpose, and it's a wonderful time to acknowledge you and to celebrate you. And it's wonderful to give other people around you that chance to celebrate you too. How many people have I seen sometimes where they have people that come in and acknowledge their birthday and they get really shy or embarrassed or nervous? And I'm saying, don't get nervous or embarrassed or shy. Be proud of who you are and be proud that it's your birthday. I have so many friends, it seems like right now, that are having birthdays. It's like one after another for the last month, and for the next month too. So it seems like we go through phases of this too in life, like where there will be a whole bunch of babies that seem to be born at the same time, or a bunch of birthdays at the same time. And it's a great way to celebrate a season of birthdays too. And so it's so important to think about how you can make birthdays special for the people around you. But I really want to focus on you with your birthday. How can you make your birthday meaningful and special? And what can you do to draw that meaning into your birthday and set aside any judgments and set aside any negative thoughts, set aside anything that isn't positive and helpful and boosting for you? Because your birthday is the start of a new cycle. Each year you're coming into a new cycle. This is what we get into with numerology a little bit, because each year, if you add up the month of your birthday plus the day of your birthday and whatever current year we're in, then that will give you what your numerology number is for this current year that you're in. And so that's going to tell you kind of what your path is coming up for this next year. So with that, with changing into the new cycle, you can see that as a fresh start. You can see that as a way to deepen yourself, to awaken yourself, to figure out what your new dreams are going to be for this year. And I also think that it's just so important to celebrate who you are, because regardless of if you've accomplished everything you want to accomplish, regardless of if you are happy with everything that's going on in your life, you might feel like there's not much at all that you're happy about right now, but you are still you, and you are worth celebrating, and you are worthy of just giving yourself that day of recognizing inside who you are, recognizing the innocence, recognizing the power, recognizing the fact that we are all made of stardust and we are all full of love. The source of what we all are is love. So take your birthday and really focus on showering yourself with love and just pouring love into yourself and seeing all of the bright parts about who you are, and then also allowing others to celebrate that with you. Whether it be not being embarrassed when you go to a restaurant and they sing to you, or whether it be not being shy about throwing a birthday party for yourself or for a friend. You know, some of these are ways that we can really gather our village around us and then, celebrate those friendships. And what a great way to, eat with other people and to celebrate and to just, gather people around and talk and socialize than a birthday. It's a perfect time for that. And so as you do that, though, it's also important to focus on the fact that you are starting a new cycle each year. And I like to think of one thing that I really want to focus on each year. Sometimes I tie that in with numerology. I'll look at what the numbers say and what would be a good thing to focus on. And other times I just look at my life and I figure out, what do I want to usher into my life this year? What do I want to change? What do I want to build upon in my life? And I usually choose just one thing, because if you choose multiple things, then you get overwhelmed and then discouraged, and it's like, ooh, too much. So it's nice to just figure out one thing that you can really focus on and that you want to draw into your life. And there are so many different thoughts for that too. So it might be that you want to start doing more charity work. Maybe you want to focus on giving to an organization, giving your time or your energy or your donations or something like that, charity-wise. If you want kittens and puppies in your house, then become a foster parent. You'll have them for about 12 to 16 weeks, and then they get adopted into their permanent homes. So that's a really fun way to experience giving and more charity work and not have that long-term responsibility too. So that can be a fun option. Or serving in soup kitchens or something like that, charity-wise. There are so many great nonprofits around. Sometimes it might be that you want to choose eating better too. So, and if you're choosing eating better or dieting better, then choose one thing. Really narrow it down, make it specific. Do you want more vegetables in your life this year? Then focus on, I'm going to eat more vegetables. I'm going to eat more cold vegetables. Narrow it down, something specific. Do you want to drink more water this year so that you're really hydrated? When you drink water, you're actually able to meditate better. When you eat better, you're actually able to meditate better. When you have your diet in a way that your body is functioning at its highest, then you can reach those higher levels of psychic development as well. So if you're working on striving towards any of that, then diet and being hydrated are really, really important. Maybe it's that you want to meditate, form a daily meditation practice, or maybe for you a weekly meditation practice is a good goal to start for the new year. So figure out something that's very specific. Give it a timeline too. I want to eat, a fistful of vegetables every day, or you want to, what it is that you want to add into your life. And maybe it's something that you want to focus on who you are in your relationship too. If you want to figure out, is there something that you want to add to your relationship that you, figuring out who you are in your relationship, is there a certain aspect that you can add to your relationship? Do you need to be more compassionate in your relationship? Do you need to listen a little bit better in your relationship? And it doesn't even have to be a romantic partner. It might be in life in general with friends. If you look at your friendships and you realize that maybe your friendships aren't as, you're not maybe listening as well as you can, or you're focusing more on yourself instead. Sorry about that. Focusing more on yourself instead, and needing to figure out how you can be a better friend. That could be a great goal. Or your romantic partner. Figure out one very specific thing It might be something more fun, a little less spiritually intensive, and maybe you want to start a garden this year. So it might be that you're wanting to garden, and so your goal is to garden, or you have a goal of renovating a room in your house. And so you make that your birthday goal, and then you can associate that with your birthday and honoring yourself and figuring out how you can celebrate yourself and bring something in that will either deepen yourself or bring more to your life or expand yourself or expand your awareness, make yourself healthier, something that will really elevate you. Make it one thing, make it have a timeline to it as well. I know for myself this year, the main thing I wanted to do was find balance a little bit more. I'm not so good at resting or taking downtime, and so that's been what I've really focused on. So I've really kind of drawn that into myself a lot this year. And so it can be, anything, wherever you feel like you might be lacking a little bit, or wherever you feel like you want to expand. It might be that you're not lacking, but you want to expand. If you want to increase your psychic development, then focus on increasing that daily meditation practice, increasing your water levels, all of those things. Just figure out one very specific thing. I talk about this sometimes at the beginning of the year too, because the beginning of the year is also the start of a new cycle. When we have New Year's Eve, a lot of people talk about all of their things they want to accomplish and all the new goals. Well, make it one very specific thing, and you'll find yourself accomplishing it a lot better. And honor yourself with your birthday too. Sometimes for people, doing it at their birthday is a little bit easier too, because it's not all this hype that comes at us and then diminishes. It's a very personal decision that you have within yourself. And do it in celebration and in love of yourself too, because if your main reason for doing it is that you're celebrating yourself, and because you love yourself and you want to increase your life, you want to deepen your life, you want to awaken within yourself, or you want to deepen your friendships or your love life, whatever it is, do it in honor of yourself and do it in honor of that love that is within you. And it's also a great time. Birthdays are a wonderful time to reflect too. So a lot of it is figuring out where you've been too, because when you look at where you've been and what your pattern has been like, then you can see what the future is set up for you too, and you can decide if you need to make some changes on your course, because we've talked before about wherever you're facing, wherever your direction is, that's where you're driving your car, that's where you're driving your life, is where you turn your head. So occasionally it's good to look back behind us and see what the path is behind us and go, oh, I'm kind of heading in this direction, and then you pull your head back around and you figure out where you want to go from there. And so it's really important to do some reflecting and then think not just about the past year, but the past decade too. I know that I found for myself that each decade brings its own unique set of experiences and its own unique set of what it means to you. It was a few years ago I really started delving into that. Probably around the time I turned 40, I started really thinking about what each decade means. And I know the first for me, like the first decade, so you're like 0 through 10, is all about learning life. How do things work? You're learning to walk, you're experimenting, you're interacting with people, you're discovering how this world works. And then the second decade for me was like learning myself, learning about how you are. A lot of people, age 11 to 20, they're figuring out who they are as people. How do they fit socially in the mix with everything? And then your third decade, for me in my 20s, was all about learning trust. And it was learning, even though I felt trust was broken at an early age, I was learning to trust it at a later age. And that seemed to be a big theme of that. And then the fourth decade, the 30s, it was challenge, freedom, clarity. That's when JJ and I had moved to Michigan. So it was a lot of new experiencing, new challenges, figuring out navigating an entirely different type of a culture, it felt like, of people and situations. And I loved all of the different changes. And throughout my 30s, I had dedicated myself pretty much full-time to charity work. So it was nonstop for that. And then now as I enter my fifth decade with my 40s, it feels like balance of giving and replenishing, because whenever we give, in my 30s it was all giving and all putting out, and now it's like balance and replenish. So if you want to give, you also have to replenish yourself too. And so it's really interesting. I love talking to people sometimes about how they feel for each decade. The 50s, the 60s, the 70s, 80s, they all bring their own set of unique things for everybody. So birthdays can be a wonderful time to reflect and think about what it is that you've experienced. How have you grown in life? What has meaning to you? What did you enjoy the most? What would you be fine with maybe never repeating again? And then what do you want to bring into yourself? And really take your birthday to enjoy yourself. Know that you are worthy, that you deserve to celebrate yourself, that wherever you are in life, that you deserve to celebrate you. And if you don't have anybody in your life at this point and it's your birthday, take yourself out to dinner. Go celebrate, have fun, do something for yourself. And if you have friends, then bring them in. Don't keep it a secret. Let others share and celebrate with you that it's your birthday, because your friends are probably pretty happy that you're here too. So go celebrate together. And I just hope that helps all of you enjoy your birthdays a little bit better and bring some meaning into your birthdays. Bring some heightened awareness and heightened evolvement into your birthdays. So with that, I will close. We are starting to slow down the meditations that we are broadcasting. We will continue to do meditations for everybody that joins us live, and we will do occasional meditation retreats and workshops and things like that as well. So if you're interested in joining us this Monday at Right Natural Health Pharmacy, it's 1260 South Linden Road. We have a meditation that is complimentary. It's all about the third eye chakra, so increasing your psychic vision. And then next Monday, we will be talking about the crown chakra, drawing in that divine energy. And then after that, we will be starting a class on the chakras. And the classes will actually be at Right Natural Health as well. So I'd love to have you join us there. And stay tuned to the Facebook page for all of the details about that. And have a wonderful day. Don't forget, if you haven't already, please click the like button down below. Please give us feedback on this video too. We really love to hear any feedback that you have as well. Have a great week.